sorry I've been mysteriously missing for about a week. I've been in a bit of a reading slump and I couldn't get out of it. I hadn't read any pages of any books since Sunday of last week, which is like a disaster for me. Like, it's a disaster. Because I got addicted to revenge, like the TV show, not the concept. I was watching Paul and Banana's books 2013 top TV shows, and she was talking about revenge. I was like, I've seen the adverts all the time because I watch Grey's Anatomy and Scandal and love them so much, and it's on the same channel, so I've seen all the adverts and I was like, oh, I'll give it a go. And then I watched 50 episodes in 5 days. Like less than 5 days. I just got addicted and I couldn't read. I didn't want to read. I had too much on my mind. So between Monday and Friday I was completely out of it. I've only just managed to get out of it because I've finally made a start on Allegiant, which only came on Tuesday, to be fair. But yeah, that's why I haven't been going about very much, because I was on half term this week, so my school was off. And yeah. So, as you will know, if you follow me on Twitter, because I don't seem to stop tweeting about it, I was at the Houston Book Rave yesterday, and it was very exciting. It was like more than 40 young adult and new adult authors were there, and the day opened with kind of a young adult session where you got to like meet and talk to all the different young adult authors about the book. They were like signing bookmarks and giving away stuff. They weren't allowed to sign any of their books because that was happening later on in the day. So it started at, the doors opened at 8 and there was book sales just going on between 8 and 9, and then at 9 that's when the young adult thing started, and it went on till 11:30. But like a heap of the authors, like I hadn't like heard of, and I hadn't picked up their books previously like I'd done with the ones that were in my Houston Book Rave videos. So I saw all the authors whose books I had, except Joy Preble, because I hadn't actually started Dreaming Anastasia. So I didn't really, that didn't happen. And so the authors which I met were Mary Gray, the author of The Dollhouse Asylum, which I have displayed so prettily on my bookshelf. We'd been like tweeting back and forward on Twitter for a couple of weeks leading up to this. So she was like, oh, hi, I'm Mary Gray. I was like, hi, I'm Scarlett. And we like shook hands. She was like, wait, that's Scarlett. I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, can I have a hug? I was like, yes. Oh, it made me so happy. I was like, my dad had to come with me because I'm 15 and I can't drive. So my dad came with me and he was just looking at me like, he was like, how do you know each other? I was like, Twitter, Dad. And she was like, yeah, Twitter's where it's happening. So the Dollhouse Asylum is Mary Gray's book, and I'm really excited to make a start on that one. It's about there's been a big epidemic of like a disease or something, and there's a few people have been saved and taken into the Elysian fields, like in the underworld, I think. And her and a handful of other people, and they're all given the role of a tragic literary couple, and they've got a strict set of rules they need to follow, and if they don't follow them then they'll be killed. And our main character, Cheyenne, however you pronounce it, I don't know, she's given the role of Persephone, and it's just kind of about how she goes about with this. So I'm really excited to make a start on this one. The author, Mary Gray, had little Mad Libs sheets, so I have filled mine in and I will read it to you just now. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Scarlett who was kidnapped and entrapped in a neighborhood in the middle of Splashdown by Jason. Someone who makes you feel like there are wasps in your stomach. The freakiest part of all this, little Splashdown, is that there are puppies who like to jump out of books when you least expect it. Not everything is scary though, because Jason is there to give you trees whenever you need it, and nothing makes you happier. Of course, trials come along the way, like when Jason makes you dress up as Juliet by wearing a scarf on your eye. You have little choice but to remain though, because the cholera is killing everybody on the planet. The most humiliating moment is when Jason reminds you of how sexy he was before you came to Splashtown and how you couldn't keep your hands off of him. Have no fear though, because you get to host a party. You serve pineapples with Mountain Dew, and you get to present Jason with the TARDIS you worked so hard on. You're pretty nervous about how he'll react, but there really is no reason to stress, because he simply storms right through the door, only to return in the rain looking downright purple. There are highs and lows, friends get shot and stabbed, but overall, you learn your lesson. Never allow Jason to talk you into dressing up as Juliet. So yeah, that's my first attempt at Mad Libs. That was an interesting experience. I also met and had a chat with C.C. Hunter, the author of the Shadow Falls series, the first 2 books of which were in a big bind-up thing. So I bought that and she signed it for me, and yeah, there's the signedness. Isn't it pretty? This series is one that I was really intrigued by during my research into the Book Rave, and I really wanted to get it, but my library didn't have it, so I decided I would just buy it when I got there, because then I could get it signed. So I'm really excited to start this series. It's about a girl called Kylie who gets sent off to a camp for troubled teens, except when she gets there she finds out it's all like really supernaturally. There's like werewolves and vampires and witches and stuff. So I thought it was a really cool idea. Kind of sounded a bit like a mix-up of like Mallory Towers and City of Bones. I was like, ooh, what is it? So the first author I met was Jennifer L. Armentrout, and she was kind of the reason that I went to the Book Rave, because my friend Laura recommended her Lux series to me while I was at home, and I just had to check those out because she said they were just so amazing. So I read the first one, and about 10 pages in I'm addicted. I'm just reading and reading and reading, and I like race through it, and then the library takes forever to get me the next 2, and then I get through those, and then I finish Opal and my life ended because just cliffhangers and tragedy. And then Origin, which is the 4th one, the most current one that's out at the moment, it wasn't going to be able to get to me for another few weeks because there's a heap of people wanting it from the library because it was out fairly recently. So I decided, right, I'll buy that one when I'm there, which I did, and she signed it for me. And I also got a few signed bookmarks, and I got a bookmark signed and sent to my friend Laura, who lives in the UK, so she couldn't come and she was gutted. And I also got the first book in her Covenant series, which I had like heard about but I hadn't checked it out yet, and so I got that one and it's signed too. The Lux series is about a girl called Katie. She's in high school at some point. I can't remember how old she is at the start of the book. And she has a book blog and she makes videos about books. So I like really related to her because it was around the time that I read Obsidian that I started my blog. So I really loved her, and she falls in love-ish with the guy who lives next door to her, Damon Black, after she befriends his twin sister. So he's like all like, no, we can't be friends. Very like Edward at the start of Twilight. Well, I shouldn't because that's spoilers. But there's something like different about him and his sister, who's called Dee, and she needs to get to the bottom of it. And I didn't know what it was about when I first picked it up, but I really recommend it to anybody. I don't want to reveal any more in case I spoil it, but it's like amazing. The characters are so witty and their exchanges are so funny. It's just awesome. And then the Covenant series, Half-Blood's the first one, and I think it's got something to do with like gods and their children and stuff, but I'm not sure because I haven't read it yet. Another book which I got is Through Her Eyes by Jennifer Archer. I had looked up this one too, and same as the Shadow Falls series, my library didn't have it. I was kind of intrigued by both of her books. The other one's called The Shadow Girl, and it sounded really good as well. I only bought one because I was buying too many books pretty much. So this one is about a girl called Tansy Piper, and she moves into this big old house in Texas, and she finds just kind of all this stuff like a pocket watch and a journal of poems and stuff that belonged to a guy called Henry who lived there like a century earlier, and she keeps getting blasted into the past and spending time with him. But how long can she keep going with it before she gets stuck in the past forever? So that book isn't signed because at the point of the signing she just kind of wasn't there. I was like, oh, where'd she go? But I wasn't bothered because earlier I had met her because she was sitting next to George and Dane, the author of On a Dark Wing, and we had a little chit chat and she recognised me from my videos, and I like about died with excitement because like I don't know that anybody actually watches these. So I like got really excited, and then she wanted to know what my blog was called, and I told her, except my dad was standing next to me, so now he's able to find it. Sad face. But yeah, it was really great to meet them, and we had a lovely chat with them. The last book which I got, well, it's technically 3 books in one. It's like an omnibus of the first 3 books in the Soul Screamers trilogy by Rachel Vincent. These ones I saw like all over the place while I was home in the UK, and I never picked them up for some reason, so I've got them now. So it's signed by Rachel Vincent. We had a wee chat about how my name is never in any books except Gone with the Wind. So yeah. And this one I'm just going to read the blurb. The books in it are the prequel, which hasn't been printed up until it was in this book, and then the first 2 books. So Kaylee is just your average girl shopping at the mall with friends until a terrified scream bursts from her that cannot be stopped. Taken to a hospital ward, will she be able to save her mind and her life? So that's the prequel, which is called My Soul to Lose, and then the first book is called My Soul to Take, and its blurb is, she's always felt different, but now Kaylee discovers why. The screams that cannot be denied mean that someone near her will die, and she can never save them, because saving one life means taking another. So I was really intrigued by this and was determined to pick it up as soon as I saw it. So yeah. So as well as all the books which I bought, there was a whole heap of stuff that they were just like giving away. They had this like 3 tables with like a big TV on it that was just playing the 3 Catching Fire adverts on a loop, and they were just giving away like a heap of the movie posters, like the ones you see in the cinema. So I took, they were giving away the Katniss, the Peeta and the Finnick ones in like the big size, like this big, and then they also had like littler ones of Finnick and Peeta, so I grabbed a heap of those and they are up on my walls at the moment. As well as that, they were doing a thing where if you answered like a trivia question, you won a prize. So for answering the question, what is Katniss and Peeta's mentor called? Answer, hey Mitch, I won this t-shirt. And for answering the question, what is Finnick's weapon of choice? A trident or a lasso? To which the answer is a trident, if you didn't know. I won a little Mockingjay pin from the Catching Fire one, not the Hunger Games one, as well. So I was very happy with that. I also got a heap of bookmarks and signed things. This is only a small fraction of it. They're just scattered all over my floor at the moment. So yeah. That was the Houston Book Rave. I had such a great time and I'm so glad I met so many wonderful people. I hope they do another one next year because I'll definitely be signing up to go to that. Thanks for watching. I'm Scarlett. Bye! Hey, it's Scarlett again, and I'm going to be doing a book haul today, which I'm really excited about because I don't buy books very often.